It's time for me to show you some of my garden casualties, and I should warn you, this is not going to be pretty. You are going to see dead plants. You're also going to see weeds. Things are in rough shape. As you look at this, you're probably going to be thinking, okay, this guy has his hands full with his garden. But the thing I really want to show you right now is my hedge. Now, I have this beautiful boxwood hedge in front of the house, and it's been growing fantastic. I've had it for several years now. However, it used to extend down there, and it kept going. But unfortunately, the section down there ended up getting boxwood blight. So I had to remove it, and I replaced it with some variegated euonymus. And I was so looking forward to that euonymus because it had the beautiful variegated leaf. I thought it was just going to be absolutely fantastic. And I planted it, would have been a year and a half ago, and it was doing pretty good last year. But something over this winter, it looks terrible. Many of them are dead. A lot of them just have some new growth down at the bottom and a lot of sticks above. So I'm going to have to take those out because I will try to save the ones that are still alive, maybe put them someplace safe and see if I can get them to do something. But I need to put something else in there. So I went to the local garden center and was talking to them there, and we had a lot of ideas, and there were a lot of really interesting plants that I was thinking about putting in there. But we landed on something that we thought was going to be the most reliable and the easiest. Since this is now going to be the second time that I've replaced it, I do not want to do this again. And so we're going with something that should be safe. If this doesn't make it, I'm putting in a rock wall. I'm not going to plant anything there. But we decided to go with a viburnum. And viburnum is a plant that there are so many different varieties out there. Almost every zone has a variety of viburnum that will grow there. And we picked one that we thought would do very well here. It's one that can be hedged, and you can kind of keep it low if you want, or you can let it grow. It's not a real tall one as well, so it naturally stays mostly compact, but we can keep it shaped. We can keep it as a hedge. I'm looking forward to it. It does get flowers in the spring. I think it gets berries later on too if it has a pollinator. I don't remember all those details. I'm not worried about berries. I'm not worried about flowers really. I just want to have a nice little hedge down there and have it back to the way it looked before, even though it won't be a boxwood hedge. So let me show you what I'm up against here. So here we have the hedge, and it used to stop here at the steps, and then over here, this whole area along here was all boxwood. Looked beautiful, but unfortunately, as you can see, these poor euonymus that I put in, if they're alive, they just have a little bit of new growth. Otherwise, a lot of them look like this. And so I need to take them out. My other casualty was this rhododendron. I had replanted it or transplanted it back in February, and it didn't have very good roots. I didn't think it would survive, and it definitely didn't, so I'll take that out as well. Meanwhile, my Spirea is doing just fine. I did have a lot of grass growing in this area, so we have some dieback down at the bottom. Nice thing about Spirea, though, is that once the air starts circulating down there, it will kind of fill in. Might not be this season, but next year. And this is actually pretty good. I don't always like how Spirea looks. It looks great in the spring, though, too, and it's starting to get its flowers. That'll be covered with pollinators later. So I think what I got to do is pull back this gravel, pull out the plants, and then I'll transplant it with the viburnum, which I have tucked in over here. And so I got a little bit bigger plants too, because I figured let's start with something bigger this time and hopefully it can keep up. So far, this project is going according to plan. Now, the tag does say that for a hedge, you space these about 2.5 feet apart. I went 1.5 feet just because I'm very impatient on this project right now. So I'm hoping that, they're going to just fill in and they'll be happy at this space. They'll just be tighter sooner. It did say on the tag that these are semi-evergreen. So that's a nice feature that I might still have green leaves. The flowers open a reddish color and then they fade to white. And I was really impressed with the price because they were only €6. So for less than $7 a plant. No, they're not super mature plants, but hey, that price is pretty reasonable compared to what I'd be paying for these in the US. I do need to get more to fill out this area here, probably about 10 more. So I'm happy about that. Next project though is clearing out this area because this is something people see when they drive in the driveway. I have a whole crop of clover here, which clover is beautiful, but I really don't want it in this area. So I'm going to put myself to work getting this stuff taken care of. The daisies, although beautiful, once these daisies are done blooming, all the leaves and stems turn really yellow and they don't look real good. So I'm really cautious about leaving those in main areas. I used to kind of leave them up and then I was always a little frustrated with them a little bit later on. So I won't leave those in here, but I do leave them up in the field up there and along the fence and everywhere else. I have to say I'm happy with the cleanup over here. Now there are still lots of weeds tucked in there, but I feel like over the course of the summer I can just keep picking at these and get them under control. I did decide to leave this daisy here, but you can see they're starting to finish up and they start losing their leaves right away and start looking very sparse. So it's not one of those fancy daisies that we'll see at the shops, the garden centers. This is just kind of one that grows on its own. This area here I'm a little concerned about because it is hard to get all this up. So I'm so tempted to just use Roundup on this to kill it, but I'm going to try to keep it under control by hand. I love that little crop of daisies over here. I think that's just beautiful. This is the rhododendron that always looks great. It's already done blooming, but we do have a couple of blooms left. It is this beautiful pinky apricot color. In fact, the color kind of changes after it starts to bloom. So hopefully this is still doing pretty well. There are some brambles growing in there, so I'm going to try to clean those out a little bit. And then over here, I've got my hydrangeas. So that one there is a little lime punch. And then over here, not looking great, but there is a, what's it called? Well, they called it a pink Annabelle. But you can see a lot of dieback on that, but we'll see what happens. And then over here, like all this heather is doing really well. The Cotoneaster is doing very well. We're gonna have to maybe clean it up a little. My rose bushes have a lot of dieback as well here. So was not a good winter for roses here. So you can see like this one, there's still some growth down there, but not doing so well. And as we go through, I mean, every single rose had a lot of dieback, which is unusual. They've never really taken off though. So I'm okay with the fact that they're not doing great. I've got these two, oh, there was the cement truck. These two Spirea, they're nice and they're doing well. So I'm glad to see that they're holding up well, but I don't know if this is the best spot for them. And Liam desperately wants to have wild roses in this area. So I'm tempted to just continue the wild roses on down, and we can propagate those from cuttings. So it's very tempting to do that. Have some Crocosmia tucked in over here. And then this tree over here, this is a Laburnum, also called like a lemon drop tree. They're so beautiful. They have these yellow flowers that look almost like wisteria and they just kind of hang down. I believe it's all done blooming. I think those are the seed pods. And from what I understand, every part of this tree is toxic to animals and humans. So people are like, oh, you really shouldn't have that in your yard. But it's in a pretty isolated spot and people have them, so it's not like you hear of laburnum death all the time. So hopefully no one ever gets hurt by our laburnum. And then over here, this shrub, sorry, you're getting my shadow here. It's not looking real healthy. I think I'm gonna give it some fertilizer. Hopefully it'll bounce back. And a neighbor had given me that old-fashioned Belfast sink, and my plan is to put something in there, some kind of plant, and I'm tempted to put a rose in there and put it close to the foundation where I couldn't put it in the ground. So we'll see how that goes. And then over here, I am thinking about getting rid of this fennel that's here. Oh, but look, this fennel has, do you see that foamy stuff in there? Apparently there's a nymph that lives in that, produces that foam and lives in there. It's not hurting the plant. And so maybe I won't take it out because somebody told me that they're very beneficial. My Jasmine growing really, really well. I'm happy with how this one's doing. I've got some daffodils that were down here, so I'll just clean up around them, but I'll leave the daffodils. And then over here, take a look. That's a wisteria, and I've been waiting for this wisteria. I think it's been, what, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. I don't even know how long. So I planted this jasmine in front of it or next to it, thinking that if the wisteria didn't take off, that at least I'd have something that was growing. So I'm going to just leave them together and see what happens. And I'm very happy over here. I had cleaned out all this area of all the grass and everything that was growing, and I'm really happy. There's very little cleanup to have to do here. This holly is just magnificent. It's so big. I just kind of got it from a cutting from a neighbor too. So I love this. I mean, it's just really great. We did buy a pollinator for it last year, but I don't think the pollinator is blooming right now. So I would love to see this thing covered in berries later on. And then just kind of general shrubs tucked in here. I do feel like after being at a friend of ours, they have a mock orange in their kind of mixed hedge, and I think I'd like a mock orange maybe just tucked in. This hedge, it is kind of all growing outward like this. I probably should bring the wall out a little bit just to give them some more room to develop, but I mean, they're doing fine. It's just kind of, you know, not how you exactly want them to grow. This is some old shrub that Liam had just bought years ago and had it in a pot forever. Our currants, this one does not have a lot of fruit on it, but the other ones do. More of those wild roses, like this currant. Actually, some of these are going to be ready to eat pretty soon. Oh, I can hear bees. They're all over the, oh, there he is. Look at him. They love these wild roses, so that's a nice one. I think this is a type of dogwood that needs a little bit of a trim up. And I'm tempted to get rid of this here. This evergreen. They're so cute when they're little and they get these bright, like new growth is really lemony colored and it has a lemon scent to it. But as they get bigger, they can be problematic because, like, if they don't get enough sunlight, they turn brown and they get holes in them. And I don't know, they're just harder to maintain. So I'm thinking about that. This is some Crocosmia here. There's nettles tucked in there as well. So hopefully I can get this just a little bit cleaned up. My raspberries have gone crazy. I had one little tiny raspberry stalk stuck in here several years ago. I'm talking probably 12 years ago. And this has become a bit of a raspberry hedge. So I'm looking forward to the berries because they were always really sweet and really delicious. It's growing into the gooseberry as well. And we've already got some fruit starting on there. And that fruit looks like, they almost look like little watermelons when they're small. They're green with that kind of marbling on them. And then they will turn kind of more purple later on. But I never had gooseberries until I was here, so that's been kind of fun. So, hey, I think I'm going to do a little cleanup in here, just get some of this stuff out of the way. Oh, and Liam's very proud of this. He'll probably want to show you this himself, so you'll probably see it again. But he wanted to have, oops, I have to be careful. He wanted to have a place to put wood out here, and so this is just some concrete blocks with some 2x6s, and then he's using it just to store that wood, so he really loves that.